Hello everybody, today we are doing a layout with multiple photos and I want to use some papers that I've had for a while and have been kind of hoarding. So we're going to start off by cutting out that little 6x4 bit and seeing where it takes us, because that's the bit I want to use, that floral paper, that floral 6x4. And we're going to just pull out papers that I think might work, but then again might not. Now I've got these photos of Daisy the cat who lives next door, and we sometimes cat sit for her, and she's going to be the feature of this. Now, like I said before, I really want to use that floral paper with love in the corner, so I've got to find a background for it, something that I want to work on, and some embellishment for it, which actually became quite a challenge. So this wood grain paper by Pink Paisley, which has the pink on the B side, the wood grain on the B side, and the A side is this pink. Um, that's where I'm heading with it. It's all gut instinct for me, really. I'm just going to pull out papers, see if I can find things that work. And, a lot of the time, I'm like, yeah, no, yeah, no. Eventually, I do start to settle on things. I settle on ideas, I settle on colours, and sometimes even concepts. The other thing I really want with these papers is for not so much the colours to work, but to really enhance the photos so that they're not just sitting in the background. Now, finally, I've settled on how I'm going to have the photos. So I'm going to use three 2x2 photos, and they're on this 6x4 backdrop, if you like. And that's my main bit to work with. I've pulled out these washi stickers. They are just stickers. They're really random. They've got some nice pretty sentiments on it. They're technically for planners and journaling, but I like to use them on scrapbook pages. They're completely non-related to the theme, but it doesn't really matter. They're just adding depth and a bit of interest. So again, I'm going to pull out some more embellishments. These ones I think are Maggie Holmes. And it's just the sort of colour concepts that I think will work together. So this white wood grain, all of those bits that I just like the look of together. That's all it is. Nothing complicated, nothing difficult. And I'm also going to use the cutout palette paper with the B sides so that I can get those pink circles, because that will work well with the pink. Now I'm going to work on the bottom third of the paper. So if you've ever heard of the rule of thirds, that's pretty much what I'm observing at this point, because as a design it looks good. It's not intentional, it's just that that's the way I've run it. But that's what it is, it's rule of thirds, and that's why I like it, that's why it looks pretty good in my opinion. I'm going to start placing the embellishments around, just so that I can start to get a bit of a feel for the page itself. Um, I'll cut apart some of these washi stickers because of the sentiments. The sentiments are really cool, and I use them on other layouts, or I might use them on this one. And you just get to really, it's just playing around. It's piecing paper until you find something that works, until you like the look of it. And you'll see I don't use all the embellishments, I only use some of them. Now finally, I've cut off the branding strip. Sometimes I do this earlier, sometimes I do this right at the end. It just depends on how the layout's going and how I'm feeling about it. I'm going to add some washi tape. So I have a pink with sort of gold stars on it, like really fine, and then an alphabet washi tape. And they're going to add a bit of depth and help keep the eye moving across the page. So it's very much a horizontal visual layout. So I want to pull the eye across, and those strips of washi help to pull the eye across the page. And they also assist in grounding photos, and when I come to it, grounding the title, so it's not all sort of sitting in midair with no depth, no background, no movement across the page. So finally to the title. Now these photos are actually a bit of a joke that we had as a family, and Daisy had come up to see me. I was sitting on the bed and I had a foot mask on, and these things are like giant plastic bags for your feet. And the joke that we had was, you've got condoms on your feet, because you know what they look like. They're weird ass stretchy material. So that's what the title became, because of the look of disdain on Daisy's face. So of course we're going to start with the words human, because she's addressing the human. And then we're going to add, you have condoms on your feet. Now I like to pull off my letters first most of the time, just so that I know, A, I've got all the letters I want, B, I can mess around with the fonts a bit, and if I need to make up specific letters, I can. So like the feet, I didn't have any T's left over, so I had to patch that together using other letters. And it's not unusual for me to have to do this. It helps the letters go further, just makes my life a bit easier, and I don't go through quite so, well, yeah, I'll go through just as many stickers, never mind. Now, I'm playing around with the positioning of the title, and this is always the trickiest bit for me when I add my title. I usually do it towards the end, and I struggle to figure out the positioning because you can't always get right to the end in it. But I'm starting to settle on this at the minute, and you know, if I need to move things along, like here, I can move it along. I can change it up a bit, and what I'm doing now, I'm trying to get the letters on a pale background so that they actually stand out rather than blending backwards, because I want to avoid them blending backwards. So I'm moving some of the embellishments around, lifting them up to give myself a little more space for this title. It is a long title, it does need that space, and without being, if it's on that heavily patterned paper, it doesn't stand out as well as it does on that slightly paler pink paper. There, that was quite a mouthful. So we're nearing the end here. I'm getting to the point where I'm happy with the title. I'm happy with what I've got kicking around. I'm happy with the composition of the layout, and it looks good. You can see that horizontal line about. I am going to add some mist. I'm just splattering it around. It's a chalk mist. It's very, very pale, and it's just going to add a light sheen to it, the places in a bit of extra depth. So that's the layout completed. There's multiple photos. I've used 3. I've played around a lot with the composition of it and peeled up things, put it down. Now I hope it's inspired you to use smaller photos or multiple photos on your page, and I'd love to see what you do. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.